Snow fell softly over the valley, covering everything in white silence. For 20 winters, Jake Turner had watched that same snow drift past his window, slow, quiet, and heavy with memories. And for 20 years, he had watched her. Every morning, Jake's boots crunched against the frozen porch as he stepped outside his log cabin. Across the narrow stretch of snow-covered land stood a small house with pale blue shutters. The chimney smoked gently, just like it always had. Emma Collins' house. She had moved there 20 years ago, right before the first snowfall of the season. Jake remembered that day clearly, how she struggled to unload boxes while the cold wind cut through her coat. He had crossed the snow without hesitation, carrying boxes while saying very little. That was how it always was with Jake. He showed up. He stayed quiet. Emma was married back then. Happy, or at least she seemed to be. Jake never asked too much. He never looked too long. Loving her meant knowing his place. Over the years, they became neighbors in the truest sense. Shared generators during winter storms. Helped shovel each other's driveways. Hot coffee exchanged through cold hands. Sometimes laughter echoed between the houses, warming the frozen air. But Jake's love stayed buried, like seeds beneath the snow. Then one winter came harder than all the others. Emma's husband left before Christmas. No shouting carried across the snow. No dramatic scene. Just an empty driveway and a silence that felt colder than the weather itself. Jake noticed the change immediately. Emma's lights turned on later. Her laugh disappeared. She sat on her porch wrapped in blankets, staring out at the white emptiness like she was waiting for something, or someone, to come back. One night, the temperature dropped dangerously low. The power went out across the valley. Jake grabbed his lantern and trudged through knee-deep snow to Emma's door. "You didn't have to come," she said when she opened it, eyes tired but grateful. "I know," Jake replied softly. "I wanted to." They sat by the fireplace that night, sharing soup and quiet words. The storm howled outside, but inside, something fragile began to thaw. From then on, winter no longer felt quite as lonely. They spent evenings talking by the fire. Long walks through snow-covered paths. Comfortable silences filled with meaning. Still, Jake said nothing. Emma said nothing. Both were afraid. Jake feared becoming another heartbreak. Emma feared hoping again. Winter turned to spring. Snow melted, but Jake's feelings didn't. Then came another storm, sudden and violent. Emma didn't come home before dark. Jake stood by his window, heart pounding as snow piled higher. Finally, headlights appeared, skidding slightly as her car pulled in. She stepped out, shaking, tears frozen on her lashes. Before she could speak, Jake crossed the snow and pulled her into his arms. "I can't do this alone anymore," she whispered into his coat. "I'm so tired of pretending I'm fine." Jake held her tightly, the warmth of her body cutting through years of restraint. That night, he made a decision. The next morning, snow fell gently again, soft and clean. Jake stood on his porch, breath visible in the cold. When Emma stepped outside, he knew this was the moment. "Emma," he said, voice steady but low. "I need to tell you something. And I should have told you a long time ago." She looked at him, snowflakes settling in her hair. "I've loved you," Jake said. "For 20 years. I loved you when I couldn't have you. I loved you in silence because I thought that was the safest way." Emma's eyes filled with tears. "Why didn't you ever say anything?" she asked. "Because I never wanted to be another storm in your life," he replied. "I wanted to be the shelter." She stepped closer, her hand brushing his glove. "You already were," she said softly. Their first kiss was slow, careful, like something precious finally allowed to exist. Love didn't rush them. It warmed them, gently. Like sunlight melting the last of winter snow. Now, when snow falls over the valley, 2 porch lights glow side by side. 2 cups of coffee steam in the cold air. And the fence between their houses stands quiet, not as a boundary, but as proof that love can wait. And still arrive right on time.